Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video I am so excited to do. It is going to be all about some new holiday releases. Ooh, ooh. Today I'm going to be sharing about the Marc Jacobs iconic eyeshadow palette in Cherrific, and then also the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Superstar Glow Highlighter. So I have this eye look, of course, using this palette, giving my first thoughts on it. I also do apply the highlighter, give my first thoughts on it, and then I do have some comparison swatches because quite a few people were asking me for those comparisons. I did purchase both of these items from Sephora. They had an early access event for VIB and Rouge members. It was a one-day early access event where you could purchase these. You can no longer find them on the Sephora website right now, but they will be coming back. That was just kind of like a one-day thing. And I'm also going to show you, just for fun, the new Bite Beauty lip glosses. I did get these sent to me from Bite Beauty, and a lot of you requested that I try out the shade Raspberry Swirl, so I also have some first thoughts on this lip gloss. So that is what we are going to be covering today. If you are excited about that, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. I would also love if you subscribed. I post videos 4 days a week, and I love chatting about makeup and trying out some new stuff for you. So why don't we go ahead and get started. So first up, I did use the Marc Jacobs Cherrific eyeshadow palette. This retailed for $49.50. The packaging really called to me right away. When I saw the full collection photo, I was really drawn to it. It really gave me a double take. The eyeshadow palette was the only one that was available on the early access day, but again, the full collection will be releasing soon. And then this is what the inside of the palette looks like. So this is an eyeshadow palette that I like. I really like all of the shades in here, so it wasn't like I just bought it for packaging or anything like that, because again, $49.50, I mean, that is expensive for an eyeshadow palette. You have these 7 shades inside. Obviously, along with the name, you have some of these more cherry tones in here. I did use every single shade in this palette on my eyes today, and I have some first thoughts on it. So why don't we go ahead and jump into the demo of the Marc Jacobs Cherrific eyeshadow palette. Starting off with the eyes, I'm first grabbing the shade Extra, and I am using the Transition Transformer from the Makeup Molly Gel 10 brush set. This is a beautiful matte cherry shade, and I am going to start to work this on the outer part of my eye. I found this really easy to blend, really easy to work with this one, and this is one of my favorite shades just in general for green eyes, like this type of cherry red shade. Then coming into Ask For. So when I looked at this in the pan, I thought it would be like a shimmery shade, but maybe not with a lot of like extra oomph going on to it. So I had the idea to place it on the center of my eye and kind of like have a little, I had something different in mind for this shade. So I used the Sigma Detailed Blending Brush. It's an E27 because I wanted something that was still a little bit more firm, but yet I could blend at the same time because I wanted to blend it into the crease. And when I added it to the center of my lid and I saw that, I was like, what? That is not what I thought was going to happen with this shadow. And I was like, okay. Let's start thinking plan B. Like, this is why I like to start my looks off camera, because if I get a little bit like confused or tripped up or thrown off, I like panic. Like, you should have seen me at my desk like panicking, looking at all my brushes. I was like, I only have one shade on. Should I wipe it off and then do something else? Like, yeah, I had started to panic. This shade is gorgeous. Whoa, am I impressed. This is a dry brush. I'm so impressed. I love this shade. This really took it to a level that I was not expecting it to be at. So I'm blending it into the crease. I'm patting it kind of just all over the lid now. And wowzers. Didn't see that coming. Then I'm gonna grab the shade Cherries. This is the shade that I was really thinking would be like the star of the show. Grabbing the BK Beauty 203. Once again, kind of similar to that other Sigma brush where it's flat and dense enough to add a shadow, but then also at the same time kind of blending because things took a little bit of a different turn on me. For this shade, I decided that I would kind of start to do a little bit more of a softer halo eye. I'm gonna start to build it in the inner part of my eye and then also tap it along the outer part. It's like a softer halo eye because I'm gonna come back in with that shade that I just used and have it pop more in the center, but I really wanted to bring more of this berry color back into. Now I will say that I actually was more impressed with Ask For than I was with Cherries, and I was expecting it to be the other way around. This one I felt like I had to work for a little bit harder. Still using a dry brush, wanted to see how that would work just for the first time. But I just felt like it wasn't quite, like it didn't have quite the intensity of the other shadow. Still pretty, still works good. I get just a little bit of fallout with this darker one too. Just a little bit, but wanted to mention that. Then coming back in with Ask For, I'm gonna place that in the center, kind of doing that soft halo. So different eye look than I was thinking I was originally going to do, but it's okay because I still like it. Still worked out. I'm gonna take a bigger blending brush. It's the BK201. I'm gonna use a little bit of Delicious to blend along my crease. So just a little bit of Juicy. I'm also just going to blend that along here. I'm gonna take a pencil brush and my Sigma E30 and grab out the last matte shade, which is On Top, and do just a little bit on the corner lash, a little bit of like almost like a little smudgy liner. Very small step, feel free to skip it. Also feel free not to follow this along, that's okay too. I would not be upset. I added some brown liner to my waterline. When I do shades working with kind of these cherry colors, I try to make sure to incorporate some brown also, because if I go too full on cherry, sometimes it can almost make me look a little bit sick. So I tried to balance it out a bit with that. And then again, coming back with On Top, my Sigma E30, I'm gonna put this matte shade really close to my lashes. I'm going to add a little bit of Extra, which was that first matte shade that I used. And then my bigger blending brush with these two lighter shades. And just kind of more buffing out those shadows. I'm gonna use a pencil brush and the first shade, which is Decadent, which this one is more, kind of more of that pressed glitter. And I'm just gonna use a little bit for an inner corner highlight. To finish up the eyes, I'm using my mascara from Marc Jacobs. This is the Lash'd mascara. I'm a big fan of this one. All right, that is it for the eye look. I did use every single shade in this palette. Hey, pretty proud of that. While the eye look didn't go out how I had first pictured it or come together in the way that I had first pictured it in my mind, I still really like it, and I still felt like it was really easy to use. So far off of my first impressions, I think that I'm really going to get on with this palette. I really do like these types of shades over here, especially with green eyes. It's some of my favorite to use. And then of course I do enjoy the neutrals. The first shadow that I didn't think I was going to be too excited about was this light matte here, which is in Juicy, but I don't feel like I'm going to reach for it super often. But I did like when I chose that one to blend out my shadows, it kind of did that softening effect. I mean, what like a blending shadow is supposed to do, kind of softened everything, and I was like, okay, okay, I get it, I can see myself using it a bit. But when I first saw the palette, I was like, I kind of wish that shade was something else, but I understand the purpose for it. So I would say first impressions off the bat, I'm happy with this one. I'm excited to have it. I think that it is super cute, and from the holiday collection, this was the one item that really caught my attention. So far so good. Next up, we have the highlighter. It is crazy to me that the highlighter is more expensive than the eyeshadow palette, but that's just what Charlotte does, huh? So the Hollywood Superstar Glow Highlighter from Charlotte Tilbury. This did retail for $55. Again, I did pay for it myself. So you get the beautiful box here. And for the actual product, it is a very large highlighter, which is great. Again, I wouldn't mind having less product and paying less money because I have a larger collection. I'm actually just more light-handed in general. It's really hard for me to go through things, so a lot of times I lean towards minis, but I get it. Some people, you like the bigger things. But this is what the inside of the highlight looks like, so it's very similar to the bronzer. You do have the silver packaging, which I've heard a couple people say that it almost doesn't feel as like luxurious, and I actually agree with that. I don't know if it's just because it's the silver or it's just like it's kind of plain. There's no real like sparkle or over the topness, which I would want for such an expensive highlighter. So I was almost a little bit surprised when I saw that. You do have where you can pop it out in the back. So usually she does refills. So instead of having to purchase the whole thing again, if you would happen to go through this entire thing and you wanted another one, you could just purchase the just the individual pan and pop it back in. When I first saw this in the pan, I thought it would be a more pinky highlight. That's what it looks like to me. A little bit surprised that it actually pulls a little bit more on the champagne side, almost more of like a peachy gold. So I actually expected it to be more of a lighter pink, and it actually was darker than I was thinking that it would be. Again, I do have some thoughts on this highlighter as I do show the demo, so let's go ahead and jump into that. Next up, I'm going to apply my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Superstar Glow Highlighter, the ultimate for face and body. I'm gonna go in with a Moda brush. I think this is just our highlight brush, yeah, in the metallics line. Yeah, let's see how we do. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Not bad. I'm gonna add a little bit more because I like to do that. I'm kind of run it up my temple here, kind of in that C shape. I was almost expecting it to be a little bit more subtle because sometimes I feel like Charlotte's highlights can lean that way. But I'm actually not mad at that. Ooh, this is nice. It's almost like wet looking. I wasn't expecting that from you, Charlotte. Now, Natasha, I expect it from Natasha, but Charlotte. Okay, girl. Did she make this for me? Charlotte. Did you make this for me? Okay, you guys know what highlight I'm wearing to next girls' night. I'm pleasantly surprised. I am pleasantly surprised right now because I pay full price for this, okay? I don't like to pay full price for Charlotte. I don't like to do it. She's my friend and I want to support her in every way that I can, but without paying her, you know, full prices. I pay full price on Sephora, but that's really, really nice. Oh, I'm happy. I'm a happy girl right now. I'm gonna add a little bit to my nose because that's what I like to do. Okay, okay. I'm definitely feeling myself in this highlight. I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling myself. First impressions of the Charlotte Tilbury highlight is a good one. If you couldn't tell, this is a good first impression. I like it a lot. I really do. I don't feel like it shows too much texture. My skin is like really going through it at the moment once again, but I don't feel like it's showing too much texture. I feel like, you know, I have pores. I honestly, like, I really do. I feel like you can see maybe a little bit more on this side. You can like, but I feel like I'm getting like, I'm just like really nitpicky at this moment, which I want to be because it's such an expensive highlighter. So I want to be like really checking it out, but I'm very impressed that it has more of that wet looking kind of like glow to it without being just super powdery. First impressions, I would have to say that I'm very happy with this. This is a lot of highlight. I'm never going to go through this in my lifetime. You know, I wouldn't be mad if she came out with smaller products for a lesser price tag. Same with the bronzer, now with the highlight. I wouldn't be mad if this was like in half and then we paid less, because honestly, I'm going to get more value that way. And that's, you know, we're all different, so I understand. It's a lot of money for a highlight. First impression, I know that I just got really excited, but I get excited when I spend money on something and I end up liking it. That's a big win for me because that doesn't always happen. Do you need a $55 highlight? I mean, that's your personal preference. You do what you want to do, boo. And I will not be here to judge you, but I would say that if you did get this one and you like this type of highlight look, I think that you would really like this. If you like Charlotte Tilbury highlights because you like that they're more subtle, I mean, I'm not going to say that this is the most blinding highlight that I have ever tried, and I feel like some of the other Charlotte Tilbury highlights that I have tried, which makes me really happy because that's my preference. So if you want something really subtle and really natural, I probably wouldn't say to go for this one. If you prefer absolutely straight up something like that's the most blinding highlight, also maybe not. But if you like kind of like that happy middle where you could probably build it up more or take it more subtle, I think this could be a good option for you. Oh, I am happy right now. So you can see from my first impression from the highlighter that I was a lot more delighted than I thought I was going to be. It was also a lot more different than I thought it was going to be. It was more of a unique shade than I expected it to be from kind of what I saw online, and then even just opening it for the first time, it was actually more unique, and I had a little bit of a hard time finding comparisons for it. I really expected for me to be able to find a lot of dupes in my collection, and it was definitely harder for me to do that. So to jump into the comparisons, I did get a lot of requests to compare it to the highlighter that is in the Film Star Bronze and Glow, and these two are really nothing alike. So this is the new highlighter from Charlotte, and then this is the one that is in the Film Star Bronze and Glow. So you can see that they are definitely very different highlighters in that sense. The one in the Film Star Bronze and Glow is a lot more subtle on the skin. I like it for the days that that's what I'm going for, but I mean, out of these two, I would prefer the new highlight more. And then I have some highlights on my hand here. I'm going to be doing up close shots because I feel like that's just going to be easier when it comes to swatching highlights. But the first swatch that I have is the new Charlotte Tilbury. The second swatch is from ColourPop. This is one of their Super Shock highlighters, and it is in the Cusp. The next swatch that I have is from Lawless Beauty, and this is their Lucid Skin Highlight in Afternoon Delight. And then the last swatch that I have on this set is from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and it is the Amrezy Highlight. And then I have some more swatches here. I didn't want to do too big to kind of have it be harder to tell which one was the one from Charlotte. But again, at the top there, I have the one from Charlotte Tilbury. Next up, I have from Persona. This is the Cali Glow Highlighter, and this one is in the shade Zuma. Next up, I have from Dose of Colors. This was in collaboration with Desi and Katie, and this is the Fuego Highlight. And then lastly, I got a lot of requests to do a comparison with Becca Cosmetics in collaboration with Jaclyn Hill, the Champagne Pop. So I have that from this face palette. So those are what the next swatches are. First impressions on this highlight, I am impressed with it. I think for my preferences with highlight, it definitely leaned more of what I personally prefer. I also did enjoy that I couldn't really find a lot of, again, exact dupes or even something that was super close in my collection. I like that it was actually a little bit different. It had just almost more of like a flip to it with this peachy champagne gold going on. I was more surprised with that than I expected to be, because I bought this kind of quick. I mean, it came up on the Sephora site, and I don't usually buy a lot of products really quickly like that, but that whole one-day access, it's a great marketing tactic, Sephora. But I'm going to be happy with this. I'm excited to use it several more times to give some more in-depth thoughts on it, of course. But you know, I don't want to make anyone feel like you have to go out and spend this much money on a highlight, because this is it is a lot of money for a highlight. Hopefully there'll be some sales and discounts as we get closer to holiday time, because I would much more like to recommend it at a lower price point. But if you're someone who really does enjoy high-end or luxury or just the Charlotte Tilbury brand, and you know that you're going to pay a little bit of a higher price tag for it, and those are some of your qualities and highlighters that I've mentioned as a positive that you really enjoyed, then I think that you would like this highlight. So those are my first thoughts with some comparisons with this Charlotte Tilbury highlight. I just have that Bite Beauty gloss to show you, so I'll jump into the demo and some thoughts on this one before we wrap up the video. All right, the last product that I'm going to demo is these new Bite Beauty glosses. I hadn't planned on including this in this video. I was just going to focus on the holiday, but I showed this on my Instagram and a lot of you asked for it, so I thought I could at least include it in here. So these are their new Yaysayer Plumping Lip Gloss. This was sent to me by Bite Beauty, and this one is in Raspberry Swirl. They sent me 2 different ones. A lot of you specifically requested Raspberry Swirl, so that's why I wanted to go with this color scheme on my eyes, and I feel like it worked for the palette, of course, but you know, you can do something more neutral also. So when you open the packaging, it actually looks like so. Then you twist it to get the product out. We got some gloss coming out. So it has cinnamon oil, which is supposed to give you that plumping effect, but it's also supposed to be hydrating on the lips. So let's try out Raspberry Swirl. Okay, so this one is described as a shimmering pink. It definitely smells and tastes like cinnamon. Like, it immediately gave me that like cozy holiday vibe. So I don't think these are considered holiday releases, but they smell like a holiday release. It doesn't look very even to me, I think is what I would say. I can't remember if I said this, I use the ColourPop BFF liner because I typically do line my lips, but I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I felt like it almost didn't look even. Like I was trying to like put the gloss in certain spots. Definitely very, very shiny. Feel like it goes with this eye look well. That it's not doing like the goopy lip gloss thing that sometimes I can get in the corner of my lips. I don't notice that happening, so I'm a fan of that. Doesn't feel sticky at all. It doesn't feel too goopy. It's not the thinnest lip gloss that I've ever tried, but it doesn't feel like overly goopy or like chunky. Like, it's not a chunky lip gloss, so I also do like that. It feels nice and comfortable. I don't feel, you know, with some like plumping glosses, it can like actually hurt. I don't feel any of that right now. I think my lips look a little bit bigger because they're so shiny. Okay, so I was a little unsure in the beginning, but I do think that it looks nice. So that is the Bite Beauty Raspberry Swirl Gloss. All right, that is going to do it for me. I hope that you found this video helpful. My package just came in. It didn't come in until 5 o'clock, so I'm filming this a little bit later and hoping to get it up the next day. I do hope this video helped you out. Definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments, of course. Are you planning to get any of these products when they do come back on their regular release date, or did you grab them for early access? I feel pretty good. I feel like this was a pretty solid first impression video. They don't always go that way, but I am left here at the end feeling pretty excited for these products. So definitely would love to hear your thoughts. That is it though. If you guys did enjoy this one, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. It really does help out. I hope you will also consider subscribing before you go, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.